Well, welcome. This is Belani Leigh Patterson with another episode of Women Healing Globally, where we present the Elephant in the Room series. This particular title is something that we all, I believe, deal with. And I'm going to share it with you, but I got to actually do a disclaimer now. Starting to really understand, understand that the topics and the discussions that I have, I wanted to make sure that we have clarity that my intention is never to tear anyone down, to bring any hurt, harm, or danger to anyone. So with that being said, but just a tool to possibly use for your own self-evolution and self-healing. So again, welcome to The Elephant in the Room, where we explore conversations many people avoid, but that often lead to the greatest healing and growth. The perspectives shared in this podcast are intended for educational, inspirational, and reflective purposes only. They are not meant to replace any type of professional, medical, or mental health or legal advice. And I invite you to ask deeper questions, listen with curiosity, and grow through respectful conversations. My goal isn't to tell you what to think, it's to encourage you to think more deeply. So, again, here's we go. Now, this is a good one, right? The gossip. Wow. What gossip reveals about the human heart? Have you ever noticed how quickly a story can travel? Sometimes before the person it's about even knows it's being told. We've all participated in gossip in some way or form or fashion. Maybe we spoke it, maybe we listened to it, maybe we were even hurt by it. But today, I want us to ask a deeper question, a different question. What if gossip isn't just about what comes out of our mouths? What if gossip actually reveals something that's happening inside of our hearts? Today, we're pulling the elephant into the room today. Not to shame anyone, but to better understand ourselves, heal at the root, and choose a different path. What gossip may reveal about the human heart? Let's start. Gossip can reveal unhealed wounds. Sometimes we find, I'll say, starting with myself, we often criticize what secretly reminds us of our own pain. If we haven't healed rejection, betrayal, insecurity, or abandonment, those wounds can often influence how we speak about others. Healing begins when we ask, what is this conversation really and truly revealing about myself? 2, gossip can reveal comparison. Comparison quietly steals joy. Sometimes gossip becomes a way of lowering someone else so we can temporarily feel higher. Healthy people celebrate others. Unhealed people create and compete. Gossip can reveal fear. This is 3. Fear of being left out, fear of not belonging, fear of not being enough. And sometimes people gossip because it creates a false sense of connection. That's a real big one for me, because you go to the family cookout or you're around family and friends and you find, laughing or tearing someone else down as a joke, when really it's a reflection maybe of my own insecurity, right? Why am I laughing at someone else's pain or someone else's growth or someone else's issue or someone else's, trauma? It's that's why I'm shedding light on this, to heal and to deal with these 9 dimensions that I talk about. And this would be considered under the social dimension, I believe, and emotional dimension. So let's go on. Let's continue. But connection built on someone else's pain is never the true connection. 4, gossip can reveal insecurity. There, that word insecurity reveals again, keeps coming up. Secure people don't try to diminish other people. When we're comfortable with who we are, we can appreciate someone else's gifts without feeling threatened by them. 5, gossip often damages trust. Because when we find ourselves, if I am sharing a vulnerability of myself with you, with a sister, with my family, I don't expect for that to be shared in the way that is judged or has your opinion on it or shamed for it, or just me taking an opportunity to try to build trust with you. And you take that and you reward that with talking about me behind my back, instead of having a real concern and saying, I remember you had this conversation. I want to thank you for sharing that vulnerability. I know it might have been difficult. You know what I'm saying? So let's see how we treat the conversations that we have going forward. And these kind of conversations, vulnerable conversations, should be held in a place of sacredness, okay? Well, at least in my humble opinion. So again, even if you're the subject or not the subject, people begin wondering, will they speak about me the same way when I'm not around? Trust is difficult to build and easy to lose. So the reflection questions that I leave with you today, let's take a moment to ask ourselves, why do I feel the need to discuss someone else's life? Am I seeking understanding or simply entertainment? The Housewives is built on that, and that is one of my all-time favorite shows. And I watch all of them. But Housewives, that's all that they do. It's a show built on talking about each other, tearing other women down, and then they go back and forth. Oh, I didn't really mean it. And then they go back and do it again. Oh, I didn't. It's a whole franchise of women talking about each other and what they feel they would do if they were in that woman's shoes. But we each have an individual journey. So my life is not yours. We might have similarities, but who are you to tell me that how I'm doing things at this point in my life is wrong? Right, wrong, or indifferent, it is your individual journey. Healing comes when you're ready to confront those things. And I am not the judge of that or the timekeeper of when that happens. I can offer my suggestions if you welcome it, what I've experienced and how I'm wanting to grow and evolve. And if my sound experience or past advice can help you to grow or give you something to ponder, because you don't have to integrate or take my advice. But it's there if you want it and if you welcome it or if you ask for it. A lot of times we interject when nobody's even asked you for your opinion. Nobody's asked you for your insights. Nobody's asked you for your judgment. Sometimes you just want a listening ear. So with that being said, what healing still needs to happen in your own heart? What emotions am I avoiding in myself? So I want to share some biblical reflections that I also researched and pulled up. Proverbs 16:28 reminds us, a dishonest person spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close friends. Proverbs 11:13 says, gossip betrays confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. Ephesians 4:29 encourages us, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of our mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. Words have the power to either destroy or to restore. The closing challenge today and this week, before repeating a story, think about it. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? And is it kind? If the answer is no, then I would suggest and ask that you choose silence. Sometimes silence isn't weakness. Sometimes silence is wisdom. Healing doesn't begin by changing anyone else. Healing begins by allowing the Most High to change us from the inside out. So in closing, remember, you can't heal what you refuse to acknowledge. And perhaps gossip isn't simply about other people. Perhaps it's an invitation to look inward. because behind every whisper, there may be a wound waiting to be healed. This is Villani Lay Patterson, founder of Women Healing Globally and creator of the 9 Dimensions of Health and Wellness. If this conversation resonated with you today, I'm available for workshops, keynote speaking engagements, and 9 Dimensions coaching sessions for individuals, organizations, schools, and communities. Until next time, keep healing at the root, keep growing with intention, and let's continue bringing the elephant in the room into the light, because healing begins when honest conversations happen. So, with that, peace. May you continue to be well and prosperous. I holla.